Hey, how's it going? It's a public holiday, Monday, here in Australia. So I had the day off work and got a few things done. Did a bit of poker study, and I'm working over the next few days of putting together my vision statement, if you will, which is part of the A-game poker book that I've been reading over the last 40 or so days. I have been rereading some of the sections, specifically the parts that have activities or exercises you need to do. So I am doing that over the next few days, and I'll share that with you all this week. And the other thing that I'm doing is I've got a few new books from our collection at home, personal development books, and I'll be switching over to one of them or maybe multiple of them for the remainder of the time. Since I have a few, I can actually go over and above my 10 pages per day requirement. I have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a book that I've read before, but I think will be worth giving another read, and reviewing and recapping on the lessons that are taught in that book. Also, I have Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, who is another author that I've read a few of his books, like The 4-Hour Work Week and The 4-Hour Body in the past, but I haven't read The Tools of Titans, which I think might be a pretty interesting one. Both of those books are fairly long, so reading them, I don't think I'll get through both of them in the time leading up to the trip. However, I can bring one along, and maybe that could be something to do in the off time or time when, I'm trying to settle, get ready for the game, etc. Anyway, that was Monday, and I'll catch you all later. Hey there. What day is it today? I think like 43 or 44 or something like that. I'm starting to lose track of the actual days that we're into this challenge, and potentially might start just counting down when we get below 30 or so. 30 days left, 20 days left. But it is Wednesday, as I said, halfway through the week-ish. Everything's going well now that I'm back at home, back into my routine, able to eat the things that I prepare and plan for. There really isn't that much to update you all on. On the weekend, I'll add the context of the vision and potentially go over the schedule that I'm planning for the WSOP. The WSOP just announced yesterday that the WSOP Plus app is going to be in use this year, which is quite exciting, to be able to dodge all of the lines to register and all of the lines to get your seat once you have registered if you're registering late. It looks like a big improvement and quite a good place to get more information on the WSOP. So I'm interested in how that works, and hopefully it goes off without a hitch this year. And one thing you have to do is register in person when you get to the WSOP. So that'll probably be one of the things that I do on the first day in Vegas, along with some grocery shopping. But I'll go over the whole schedule a bit later in the week. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Hey there, how's it going? It is Wednesday evening. It's a little double update for everyone. One thing I wanted to say, and maybe potentially inspire some other people to follow along, is because I'm doing this walk every morning and every afternoon effectively, I started to notice a little bit of trash or rubbish on the side of the road or on the street, on the nature strip. I walk along kind of a nature walkway in between different, houses and stuff, and there's just rubbish a lot of rubbish everywhere, and I figure, why don't I just bring a bag with me and collect up the rubbish that I'm walking past. And there's some there, which I'll pick up in a moment. Just pick up the rubbish on the way on my walk, since I'm not really doing anything else other than listening to a podcast or something. And since I'm doing it every day, there should get less and less rubbish, at least on my path. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully, if you're all doing something similar, then it might end up a bit cleaner overall. Anyway, I'll let you know over the next month how clean it is along the path that I take each day, and whether I'm picking up a lot of rubbish every day or it starts to get less and less. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Good morning. How you doing? It is Thursday today, and as you would have seen by the overlay titles, we hit Wonderland. They're in the 100s of pounds. 90.5, I think it was. 90.6, 90.7. I don't actually remember. I know it was 90 point something. 90.7, I think, which puts us at 199.96 pounds, which is officially Wonderland. And we still have exactly 5 weeks to go before the trip, so plenty of progress to be made on top of that. Seeing the results is making me more excited about having all of this extra energy for the competition and being able to play at my best when the time comes. Nothing else to really update about today. The weather has been pretty good since coming back from Sydney. Hopefully we have this kind of smooth ride into the last month of the challenge and the departure date. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Good morning on a bit of a grey Friday. The rain is back. Hopefully it doesn't continue through the weekend. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the planning that I'm doing and around the trip, but also around the poker study. I think I've mentioned that I'm putting together a plan. I've showed you in a previous video using the AI tool to kind of like automatically generate a plan for myself. But I think what I'd like to do next is to share the plan that I'm going to be following myself over the next 5 weeks. It won't have every single moment in it. Maybe it'll just be the overview of like the study topics and the when they're happening, when they're being reviewed, etc. Go over a little bit the schedule that I'm planning for myself. Schedule will obviously change based on various things. Last year when I was in Vegas, after about a week, I got sick and then ended up spending 3 days basically in bed doing nothing. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen this year, because being sick sucks, but especially 3 days out of 30, like that's 10% of my trip right there, just thrown away being sick, which will usually mean like 3 entries, and then the remaining days after that, the next like 3 or 4 days, you don't really feel 100%, even though technically you don't feel sick, but yeah, you have a little bit of mind fog, I guess. So put that together and show all of you on the weekend. The plan for poker study leading up to leaving, and the WSOP schedule and other tournaments that I will potentially play depending on how I'm going in the WSOP event. So I'll share that later in this video. And one other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is last year it was really great meeting a few of you all that watched the videos, some people that I didn't know previously, and made some good friends, and people came up and congratulated me on, when I had the deep run, and that was good to see. So if you all are watching these videos, thanks for coming up and saying hi. Do it again this year if you're in Vegas. And for anyone else who hasn't, if you see me in Vegas, feel free to come up, say hi. Let me know how your series is going. If you're having any deep runs, I will likely have some time to come over and rail for a little bit. But that'll be it for today, Friday. So looking forward to tomorrow or this evening and the weekend to get back to studying. I'll catch you later. Good morning. Saturday, I think day 40 something into the challenge. Around about 33 or 32 days remaining until the trip to Vegas. And I'm currently at my lightest weight, probably in at least over a year, but probably like 4 or 5 years is my guess. And we've still got a way to go. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the reading 10 pages each day that is in the 75 Hard Challenge rules. I have been doing that. While I was in Sydney last week, I was rereading and going over the exercises in A Game Poker by Elliot Rowe. And when I got home, I raided our book storage and grabbed out a few books because I'll read some over in Vegas too. But currently I'm reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it's not really the first point, but one of the points he makes early in the book is about the P/PC balance. And that you need balance between P and PC. And so what is P and PC? It's not poker. P is production and PC is production capability. And so if we put that in a poker term, the production would be the playing poker, making money or losing money. The act of playing is the production, and the production capability is the ability to play poker. So, and also profitably, I suppose, is you got to add that in there. So by ensuring you have a balance of production and production capability in terms of poker, you need to make sure you play some, which for me is definitely out of balance. I only really play once or twice a year other than the WSOP, and so I really need to address that lack. And then the production capability is ensuring that you're studying, ensuring that you're in the right shape, not just health and fitness wise, but also mindset wise, etc. to play, ensuring that you're prepared beforehand, rested afterhand, and make sure that you have all the things that enable you to produce, i.e. play poker and produce whatever it is you want out of poker. For me, it is, I definitely want to be profitable, but I also want to have fun, grow, keep my mind sharp as I get older, and enjoy the process. And I got to thinking a little bit about how this might relate to software engineering, which is the other thing that I spend a significant portion of my time doing. And so the production for software engineering is the software, the features of the software that you may be selling to consumers or your customers. The production is making sure those things keep running and you're able to continue adding or enhancing those features, or even a reduction of bugs, going forward. That's how you produce, i.e. how the software makes you money and sustains you. And the production capability would be your computer that allows you to work and build the software, your employees that may build the software for you, the rest of your employees that maintain your relationships with your customers, etc. And on top of that, the actual state of your software. I think we kind of think about the features the software provides and the state of the software in its unbuilt, unproducing form, aka the source code. We kind of think about those two things as two separate things, and I think we actually think about them as one thing, and they should be separated into two separate things. And so I'll elaborate on that a little bit in a moment. I was getting a little tired holding the camera up with the one arm. Need to do more workouts. Okay, so the production capability of software development or software as a service products, I think we need to start thinking about the state of the software in its unbuilt form, the source code, as more the workbench for delivering the production, i.e. the features, the software that people use that makes their lives easier, their work days easier, that they pay for. Because if you were building furniture, you would do it on a workbench probably, and your production would be the output, the furniture that you can sell to customers. And I think a lot of people would relate or would easily understand why you need to keep your workbench clean. That doesn't seem to be the same in the software industry. Not outside of engineers. Engineers are the people that are working on the workbench, right? So when the workbench is dirty, the engineers understand. They see the output comes out, the furniture is not quite as good. They see the struggle that they have to go through in order to deliver it. They see that it takes longer because they have to move stuff out of the way on the workbench. So that they can use some tool. We should also consider it part of their tools as well, right? So people wouldn't argue with someone sharpening their tools to build their piece of furniture or a piece of hardware. Maybe the employees are the tools and the software is the workbench. But yeah, it's kind of an unformed analogy right now, but I think it would benefit us to think about it a little more like that and try and have this balance between the production and the production capability, because if either of those ones goes out of balance, if you stop delivering new features or your software stops working, if you stop playing poker, you won't earn the money, achieve the result that you want. If your software becomes in such an unmaintainable state that you no longer can add new features or maintain it appropriately, if your relationship with your employees becomes bad, then there's no way you're going to get any production either. Or you're going to be in a position where your production capability is so slow or so low that you won't achieve anything. And your competitors will overtake you, aka you'll be disrupted. And in the poker sense, if you don't maintain your skill edge, your strategy edge by studying, your health and wellness by having the right mindset, eating the right foods, being in the right shape, then your poker production, playing poker, winning money, will go down over time. Anyway, rant over. It was a bit of a long one, but hopefully I'm keen to hear what other people think about the points that I'm making here, whether they make sense or not. I'm going to keep reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I have read it once and I'm reading it again, and as I'm reading it, one of the points in there is don't just read this once through, keep coming back to this, and that's one thing that I didn't do, so I'm going to try and do that going forward. Anyway, that'll be the update for today. Comment down below if you got any thoughts on everything, and I'll catch you later. Hey there, so this is going to be an overview of the study plan that I've put together for myself. You would have seen in my previous video how I got AI tools like ChatGPT to help me build a study plan structure. So I've taken the output from that and put it into place for myself on this spreadsheet. Okay, so first of all, the general structure of the plan is going to be to study an item, the item that's in this list here, and then after one day, review that item and drill the item. When I say drill, I mean use like a GTO Wizards trainer functionality. And then 1 week later, we will review the item again and continue to drill the item. And so hopefully that will lead to it being imprinted in terms of memory. The start date is going from tomorrow, the 12th of May. And we're going to start with the early position raise first in ranges for medium effective stacks. So early position, down the bottom here, positions are under the gun and under the gun 1. Mid position is MP and low jack. Late position, hijack, cutoff, and button. And then I specifically mention the blinds in here as well. The stack sizes, short is 5 to 20, medium 25 to 50, deep 60 to 100, and extra deep is 100 plus. And I actually don't have anything written for deep or extra deep, and may or may not cover that at all. I've mentioned the start date and end date here basically as the dates of this week. So I've grouped everything into weeks. So the first week, which is next week, starting tomorrow. Day 1 is a Monday. Day 7 is a Sunday. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 weeks approximately before leaving for Vegas, and I will be able to do some amount of training in Vegas for at least the first full day after I arrive as well. Okay, so we've got early position, a raise first in, medium stack, chip EV ranges. Then we are going to do the mid position while reviewing the early position, then the late position while reviewing the mid position. And then defending the big blind and defending the small blind will be next. Then we'll go through the facing open ranges, starting with early, middle, and late positions. And then for the flop and turn, I've singled out these particular board textures. So ace high rainbow boards, king and queen high rainbow and dry boards, low connected boards, paired boards, monotone flops, two-tone dynamic boards, and then we'll go into the turn play covering the same boards. And then I've got river play blocked out for 2 days or 2 sessions, and I've just put various there because I didn't want to lock into one specific board, but we'll probably be going through these kind of boards in this order most likely on these 2 days.
Then we'll go through the short stack play, which is mostly like pushing all in or re-raising all in. And we'll be doing that from early position, middle position, and late position. And then we've got 3 days where we have open space, and this will be what we fill this in with will be things that maybe I think I need to re-go over from the RFI defending flop or turn or river plays. So we have 3 days of sessions blocked out there, and then we've got some ICM, 3 days of ICM study for pre-bubble, the bubble, and the final table. And then day 32 is departure day. That should be it for the study plan, and that's how I put it together. Now, of course, as I'm going through and reviewing on the day after or after the week, I will be taking notes, of course, on all of the study sessions and noting down if I think I need more work in that area. I think that is basically it for the study plan. So that is looking good there. I will have other study sessions that I'll be doing throughout this time that won't be covering these particular things, but this is going to be kind of my solo study plan that I'll be using over the next 4.5 weeks leading up to the trip away. So that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it would really help me out if you click to the subscribe button or leave a comment on what your study plan is going to be for yourself. Other than that, thanks for watching my videos, and I'll catch you later.